guys, it's me, Paper Pirate. So first things first, I need to apologize for basically not posting a video in a year. Hopefully I'm back. No promises, to be honest with you, but I wanted to make this video today because, y'all, we have conference realignment. Now, I've never talked about this on the channel, but I'm a huge fan of football. I'm more of an NFL person myself, but ever since I've been in college, I've been way into college football, and therein, this intrigued me. So, we're going to look at 3 realignment scenarios. My complete realignment is not ready yet. Maybe I'll make a video about that. And maybe I'll take this video down because I didn't think really hard about this, but I want to get this video out there. I want to get the conversation going because, oh my gosh, it's realignment time. So, if y'all don't know the T, basically, the University of Texas and University of Oklahoma, aka Texas and OU, they're thinking about moving out of the Big 12 and into the SEC, which is like insane. It's literally insane. I think it's gonna happen, honestly. Like the money, the TV contracts, like everybody loves the TV contracts, so I think that's what's gonna happen. And so I have come up with 3 scenarios in which either the carcass of the Big 12 is picked apart and moved to other conferences, or the Big 12 is actually reconstructed. That's one of the scenarios. Now, for 2 of these scenarios, I need to apologize to the Kansas fans out there because this does assume that Kansas discontinues their football program and moves on to bigger and better things, just considering the culture, it seems, of losing. I don't know if it's a culture of losing. Maybe that's not what I meant to say. Just the fact that they aren't the best. And with the whole Les Miles situation. So, let's get started. The first scenario is the going down scenario, which means these three here, Big 12 teams, Baylor, TCU, and Oklahoma State, go down to the group of 5. And I think that group of 5 team that they would be in would be the AAC, and they would join the likes of Cincinnati, Houston, all these other schools. And I think that would be good for them, honestly. I think that this is probably the most likely scenario, and honestly, like the best scenario for them. I think, they could really thrive there. And then we have the Pac-12, which I now am calling the Pac-16. We all know the Pac-12 has had some fun football issues over the past couple years. So I say they pick up San Diego State, UNLV, Texas Tech, which may seem weird to some of you. And to that I say, go look at a map and figure out where Lubbock is. It's basically in Colorado. So they move on to the Pac-12. And then they pick up Boise State as well. The Big 10, as we know it, is now the Big 16. Can you see the theme? All of these teams have 16 teams. So we have Iowa State and Kansas State from the Big 12 moving over to the new Big 10/Big 16. Obviously, we have Texas OU in the SEC. We have, for the ACC, West Virginia and Notre Dame, which honestly, the fact that West Virginia is not in the ACC and is instead in the Big 12 still baffles me to this day. It's insane. And I also put Notre Dame down here with a question mark just because, who knows what they're going to do. I honestly think they should go ahead and join the conference and stop thinking that they're all that in a bag of chips, but, I'm not a Notre Dame exec. Far from it, in fact, so that is where I have them. Now, let's move on to the Pac-16, which actually still has the group of Big 4 teams with, 16 teams? Yes. But the thing is, we have Baylor, TCU, and now, spicy, BYU in what was the Pac-12 and would now be the Pac-16, and obviously we also have Texas Tech. So basically, current Pac-12 plus Texas Tech, Baylor, TCU, and BYU. The reason that I left Baylor, TCU, and BYU out of the original going down scenario is because the Pac-12 doesn't really like religious teams, and I know that all 3 of those teams are or schools that have religious affiliations. So that's what we have in the Pac-16. Obviously, we still have all of these other independents over here, and the the other thing I wanted to mention, again, the Big 16, Big 10, SEC, and ACC. And Notre Dame in this scenario would go ahead and join the ACC to make it that even 16, like Big 4 type thing. And then the final scenario that I have to show you guys is the last-ditch effort. This is the Big 12 basically being like, you know what? Texas and OU can leave. We don't care. We're bringing the whole band back together. We're getting a couple of new members, and we're going to roll on. Now, this is like I don't think this is actually going to happen, but if it were to happen, this is how I do it type of scenario. I don't think this is actually happening. I don't want people to think that this is a real thing. It's just like, oh, this would be cool if this happened. So first we have the Big 12, which would become the Big 16. We have Oklahoma State, basically everybody in the Big 12 besides Texas and OU, who we assume move on to the SEC. We then bring back Nebraska, we bring back Mizzou, Iowa, and we have Iowa State, so it's kind of that in-state rivalry thing. We bring over Houston and SMU, and we also bring Boulder, Colorado, BYU, Arkansas, and Air Force. So that rounds out the Big 16. I honestly think that would be a pretty cool conference to see. I think, honestly, in this conference, it could literally be anybody's game. I think that this is going to be a really competitive conference. I would love to see it. Like I said, don't think it's going to happen, but I think it would be cool to see. Next, we move on to the Pac-16, which again, Pac-12, they just pick up some new people. Again, we bring back San Diego State, UNLV. We then bring in Utah State, and then we have Boise State to round out the Pac-16. Next, we have the new Big 12, which is the current Big 10. So it's Indiana, Maryland, Michigan, MSU, Michigan State, Ohio State, Penn State, Rutgers, Illinois, Minnesota, Northwestern, Purdue, and Wisconsin. So that's 12 teams. I just call it the Big 12, even though it's the Big 10. Just to confuse everybody, have a little bit of fun. Then we have the SEC. They gain Texas and OU's, but they lose Mizzou and Arkansas. They have still 16 teams. And finally, we have the ACC, which is all the same, WVU plus Notre Dame. Obviously, Notre Dame may not like that. But then we have three conferences with 16 teams, one conference with 12 teams, and the other conference with 14 teams. And I would really like to see this. Like, this is, I would say, my dream scenario, I would say. I think that this would be really fun to watch, and I think that you kind of legitimately future-proof yourself to some extent. So, yeah, I'm sorry this video is a little bit chaotic. It's just, conference realignment. Like, I've been waiting for this for literal years, and I wanted to give you guys my initial thoughts, my initial scenarios. Feel free to leave feedback, constructive or unconstructive. Honestly, like I said, I don't even know if I'm going to keep this video up. I don't really care. Interested in knowing what you guys have to say. Interested in learning your opinions on the whole conference realignment thing if you've got a dog in the fight. I know that this has nothing to do with pens, which is kind of the focus of my channel, and that pen content is going to be coming back, but again, this is one of my other passions, and I'm really happy that I got the opportunity to talk about it. So that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Again, leave any and all thoughts in the comments down below, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!